Hello, are you ready for day 9 of the 12 days of Christmas? We are getting towards the end. Tonight we will be playing with, or today, whenever you're watching this, the Christmas Lights bundle. So this is the stamp set, and then these are the dies. I did make a tag using this with just the dies. So I cut out the tree with the intricate cutouts in the middle and then put some gold glimmer paper behind it so it sparkles through the holes there. So I've made that with this set. But tonight we're going to copy a card that I made in my friend Kay's technique class. So we made this card. It's emboss resist. So this white is embossed, and then you color with ink and water. So this is watercolor paper, so it'll stand up to that. But I decided to try it in purples because purple is my favorite color. And instead of the white, we're going to use silver embossing powder. So we'll see which one we like better at the end. So I haven't done this purple version before, so we shall see how it turns out. So first, let me grab my... First, we will do our embossing. So this is our fluid watercolor paper. And that isn't the gift, the Stampin' Gift I was going to talk about tonight. I don't know that that's big enough. Nope. Let me get another piece out. There we go, this orc. So it's very thick paper. But what I wanted to talk about, since we are embossing this tree, we have an embossing kit, and it's in this. Let me just find the page real quick so I can show you. I had the page all ready for the stamp set, but not the embossing. One moment, please. Because it is carrying over, and it's a great kit to have, and I don't remember what stamp set they're showing it with. There it is. So this is what I'm talking about, the Embossing Additions Tool Kit. It's $27. You get this tray. This is to brush away any extra powder. This prepares your paper so it only sticks where you put the ink, the Versamark. And then these are reverse tweezers, so you can hold on to your paper while you're heating it up. So I already have my embossing powder in another container, but this is great for, you just pour your embossing powder over and then unscrew this and you can pour it back in your little container. So let's do our stamping first. So I have the tree stamp. Oh, I don't need that because it's rubber. I'm so used to getting that out for photopolymer. And my Versamark. So you want to ink this up. And I probably should have put this on my Stamparatus, so we'll see if this works. At Kay's, we did do it on the Stamparatus because you want to be sure you've got good coverage with this because the watercolor paper has some texture to it. So we'll just hope this works. If not, we'll go back and look at the one I made at Kay's. So you won't be able to see that. I can't even see it. So let's see. If it doesn't work with the embossing powder, if we don't see any embossing powder sticking to it, then we will get another piece and try again. So I just had a plastic container that I kept mine in. So like I said, this is silver embossing powder. So we'll see if it's going to stick. Oh, it looks like it. Oh, and I forgot to use my Versamark. Oh my goodness. So you can see along the edge there. Yeah, that's looking good. Then you just kind of tap it. And then move that out of the way before you emboss anything. you will end up with a mess on your hand. But I can tell, excuse me, along here, see these little lines? That's not a part of our stamp. We don't want that. So that's what this little brush is for. All right, that looks pretty good. Whew. Now, my machine. So this is the embossing machine. And I'll use my tweezers even though I do have a big piece of paper. If you had already die cut this, which at Kay's we already had, but I decided to wait and do it afterwards. But you can use these tweezers to hold it so it's not right by your fingers. You won't burn your fingers. Now this is going to get loud. This heat tool, excuse me, has two settings, a low and a high. So 1 and 2. The 1 is just for drying things. The 2 is what we want to use to melt this, because we're going to melt this powder into a silvery, glossy finish. So hang on, it's going to be loud. And so I like just kind of keep it in one area. It takes it a minute to heat up. Okay, maybe not a minute, but keep it in one area till you start seeing it melt. There, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but now it's getting shiny. So you just want to make sure every bit of that powder is now shiny. Yeah, there you can see. It looks like it's disappearing for you, but it's actually turning silver shiny. All right, and then I'm going to turn that off for a minute. I just want to look at it and make sure everything looks shiny, and it does. Okay, I'm going to set my tool off to the side. And we'll die cut that in a minute, but I'm going to leave it just a minute to harden up. It does not take very long at all. If you were to touch that immediately after embossing it, it would be squishy and you could mess it up. But we can go ahead and do our card while we're waiting for that. If I can get all my pieces over here. So I am going to use, these are the colors. So Kay's card, I believe, if I remember right, it was Pacific Point, Coastal Cabana, and Bermuda Bay, and those look beautiful together. So I wanted to try purple, so we're doing Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and then Orchid Oasis is kind of a blue purple. So we'll see how this works. But I do want my sentiment to be dark enough that you can see it. So she used, it's the sister stamp set with this whole Mega Suite, which I didn't get, and it is carrying over, so I may have to get it. But I'm using Framed and Festive, which is a stamp set that's only available for a limited time. It kind of goes with the fitting florets. But I decided to use just Noel. So we will stamp it in the corner of our Fresh Freesia. There we go. All right. That will probably be the first one I use, but let me go ahead and build this up, and you'll end up with little powder on your work surface. So if you have like a Swiffer or something, then you can get it off of there. And this is some of the Snowflake vellum. It's very iridescent and shimmery. We used the polka dot on this one, so I was going to try the snowflake on this one. Kay gave us 2 pieces so we could decide which one we wanted. And then this is just a piece of smoky slate. But to adhere vellum, you just have to be a little bit careful. And I will take some liquid glue and just put it behind where the snowflakes are. Then it won't show through. Not a lot. Just a few little lines. And it, you know, you may get out of lines a little bit and it might show through, but it'll be fine. And your tree, I guess in the middle I could put more because your tree's going to cover up the middle of that. All right. So let's put that on our smoky slate. And so there's just a little border on either side. And then we're not adding any ribbon or anything to this. You just hold that for just a minute. And then once it's stuck, you can put it on your card base. And it's just the same size as the card base. So that's all ready. Now we're ready to have fun with our tree, which let me grab paper towels. We'll die cut this first. Get that out of the way. Oops. Need my little mat. And I will just use the open tree. We're gonna need some plates. And I know this is really close for you, but I always forget to move you back down, so I decided to just leave it close just since we were cutting one thing. All right, so just center that. Try and keep it from moving. Run it through. And because this is so thick, I'm going to run it through and back since this paper is so thick. There we go. And now we have our beautiful tree, which is pretty in and of itself with a silver embossing like that. But wait, we're going to make it even prettier. Let's get this out of the way. Put my die away so I don't lose it. Okay. So yes, see, this would be pretty just like that. But we are not going to stop there. I don't need this out here. So this can get a little messy. So I've got a couple of paper towels. And you can do this several ways. You can squeeze the lid of your ink pad and get ink in the lid of it. I should maybe take off my sweater so I don't get ink all over it. And get ink in here. You can take some re-inker and drop it on here or on a block or something. I am going to take my sweater off because I don't want to get ink all over the sleeves. I prefer to just take a block and just stick it in there. And where is my water painter? I had it out. It's here somewhere. There it is. So we used this the other day for something, I think. This is the thick brush water painter. So we will squeeze some water on here. And we're starting with the darkest color. And there's, excuse me, it says on there squeeze or push. So that's where you get the water out. And I want some good rich color. And then I'm going to bring the other card out so I can kind of remember where we put this. So we started with the dark and we put it on the, yeah, that needs more color. And see how it's just going to make a total mess. And then you just take it and you just kind of swipe it like this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then I think we did two. Oops. So you can always add more, but you can't take it away. So we'll stop there and then we'll add our other colors. Let me get another paper towel. So when we did this at Kay's, she had 3 of these, so we could just leave them because there were several of us doing it. so we could just leave them with one color and didn't have to clean it. But I only have one, so this is just how you clean it. You just keep squeezing water. Hopefully we'll have enough water for this. All right. Let's set that aside. Close this up. Oh, I think this is going to be pretty. Set that aside. Try not to make a mess. I have such a mess to clean up when I'm done with this. All right, then we'll take, I think we did the lightest one. We'll do the lightest one next. So again, I'm just going to take a block. Just push it down in there. Get a little more ink than the last one. This one's a light color, so it's a little harder to see. Put some water in there. And then again, just paint it. This one is a real light color, so we may not like this as well, but we'll see. It may be too light. And you can go over the other color. And then a little bit at the bottom. All right, there we go. Put that one away. Let me bring my paper towel. Get some of this fresh freesia out of here. It'll be a little bit easier to clean because it's a lighter color and we didn't get a lot of ink on it. And now we have Highland Heather. So I thought about doing Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape, but I wanted to see how the Orchid Oasis looked with it. Whoops. So let me get another block again. Just put some ink on there. Some water. And then it's just a matter of putting it in between. Now, you do want to be sure, whatever colors you use, that they will blend nicely. So you wouldn't want to do an orange and a green, because when they blended, then they would end up being a brown. Yeah, I think I like the blue better. I mean, this isn't bad, but I think I like the blue. And I was able to get it to blend a little better here on the blue card, so it's not such a stark line there. But it's different. All right, let's get this cleaned out. All right. Put all this mess over here out of the way. This guy. And take that off of our... So yeah, it's not bad. I do like the blue better. I think it blended a little better. The silver is pretty. I don't know. You can tell me what you think, if you like the blue or the purple. So this we will put on with dimensionals. And because it's still wet, I'll just put a couple of dimensionals on the card itself and then gently put it on there. Normally you would wait until it was dry, but just so you can see the full effect. And I didn't make one beforehand, so. All right, so there is the purple version. I like the snowflake behind it too. And there's our blue version. Blue-green. So you can tell me which one you like better. I like the way this blended better than this. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I do like the way those blended. And I can't decide if I like the silver over the white. I think the silver shows up a little bit better. The silver embossing. All right, so that is day number 9. Remember, the gift that I'm suggesting for today is this Embossing Editions, which has the brush that I've laid somewhere where you can brush. There it is. That you can brush off the extra. We forgot to use this, but it did okay. That will just keep the powder from sticking in places that you don't want it to. So there you go. Day number 9. All right, only 3 days left. It's hard to believe. We'll see you next time. Bye.